let us chit chat a little bit about that lovely 5D experience. And so, the gist of the 5D experience, twin flame and or flames. One, nobody decides for us because I left you hanging yesterday. I know you came back for that. But one, nobody gets to tell us what our journey is or isn't. So we're not following what you see the 4D bandwagon following. And that's because the 5D collective, they are able and desiring and invested in wielding their own potential, being their self, and through mindfulness, mindset practices, they have a balance with their left, the left mode, the masculine, the right, the feminine. This is where I say that self is here. That ego, we can put it here if we want, and they come together, and your default mode network is down-regulated. You have healthy self-worth, so you're an empowered person. Divine feminine, your body and heart. The body is yours, and divine masculine, your mind is yours. Okay, so with that, you have a securely attached person, and that is going to be a 5D collective, mystic or not. The divine feminine will be a mystic, and with clairs, and we all unconsciously love. We have flaws, we have integrity though, and we can share with people what it is that we want because we're functional adults. That's what it means to wield your left and right. You get to talk to someone. Okay, so when you're building a relationship, it's always going to be by appreciating being you and another being their self. And that love is not a fleeting moment. It is something that we consistently grow over time. Okay, so consciously, you know that growth and deepening a connection involves that you and another choose to share your heart. And then that you choose because you desire this, not because you have to do this, okay? So life partners, we tickle each other's minds, hearts, and bodies all in one. And that inner child adult is here, so there's not a person who has the maladaptive or adaptive child pattern of behaviors. If there's anyone who has any of that, which is childhood developmental trauma or personality disorders, they are healing it, and that's where conversations allow us to work together so that we can ensure that we keep on supporting the healing process. So they're not projecting a shame button or a blame or fault or revenge. They're not using black and white or split. And if it does happen that they get triggered and they get one of those episodes, they will actively be, one, we will be aware because, again, that's where a person who's healing with a therapist will have the list of things to address with a person and then to know what to do and not to do. So you get to have a plan together on how to support the healing and the continued moving towards your inner and outer well-being. And the relationship, therefore, deepens and it doesn't become ruptured because of a moment of you falling with your unfortunate, because it's unfortunate to have all of that. So, for example, voidness, the void, you fill it with anger sometimes. Calm, they're wanting to fight. So it's actively a recalibration of everything that your unfortunate inner child has learned from their unsafe environment, because your body protects you and your brain. It's just that the maladaptive child pattern behaviors and adaptive are no longer necessary. So the rigidity and chaos bring about interruption and ruptures and splinters, and that's where the abandonment, rejection, injustice, humiliation, shame. I think there's one more. But any person who has low self-esteem and direct communication, passive-aggressive, they don't know that healthy boundaries are actively talking. So anyone who at some point or another goes rigid, they are not yet a integrated, functional adult brain. They don't have to want to be. That's why you'll hear people say, I want to do personal development, self-help, I want life now. Okay, so when, on the other hand, you do know how to be in the 5D spectrum, this is that Christ consciousness. So one, forgiveness is not something we say, you need my forgiveness. It's a conversation. We know how to say we're sorry. We know how to make mistakes. We all will make them. We know that our words are not going to be impeccable. There is no perfection. Okay, so flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, and stable is the 5D collective. The 5D feminine will be that already. They also are a straight shooter. Divine feminine or divine masculine of a 5D straight shooter is with softness, not with arrogance, not with what is it called? It's not in a way of us not talking. It's in a way of confidence. The 5D ear will hear the difference because their heart is open. So is their gut, so is their mind, but that's because they're aligned with the heart, body, belly, body, physical, energetic, and mental. So they're in oneness with source, essence of love, life, God, Akash, call it what you want, consciousness. They're a human being who has equanimity. No ill will, no vengeful tooth, no pent up anger. They're not using their 14-month-old or any of their emotional stuff against another person or their mental stuff. So they're not chit chatting in their brain, making assumptions, and then using that to fuel anything. So love is us appreciating each other and, again, desiring each other, and therefore tickling the mind, the heart, and the body to always be in a securely attached relationship where we get to use the functional adult love language, and then we get to dance the dance of love and the dance of life and the dance of creation and the dance of consciousness. So your 5D relationships are all based on healthy self-worth with people who are able to know that love is not a fleeting moment. It is, again, a conscious constant that grows, deepens, and expands infinitely when you appreciate and desire to be around another person, which is why twin flames, or soulmates is not the focus of a person who is a divine feminine, because the divine feminine will know in the vastness of the cosmos everything is going perfect. But one nasty little thought in your mind can make it a bad day. That is lack of perspective. So, Sadhguru shares, true love is not you bringing humbug into your relationship. What he's trying to say is you don't bring your bad attitude. And so 5D, yeah, you don't bring your bad attitude. You have a nervous system and a brain, and it's an embodied one. You learn to, like a functional adult, talk. Not hostile, not passive aggressive, no adaptive child pattern of behavior. So your humbug, you do not. That's somebody who wants to vomit in a trash can, all of this stuff, and then do another round, another go around. They're doing karma. It's unconscious activity. Venting, unconscious. You don't need to do it. Sharing, very different. The 5D ear will hear it. The 4D ear won't. They won't differentiate, but the 5D ear will. Why? Because I'm sharing an emotion and I'm not making it into a statement. My emotions and thoughts are not irrefutable facts. They are me wanting to share a piece of me in that moment. I witness it. I'm mindfully aware. I'm having mindsightly aware too. And then I'm with my mindset. So I come and I share. I want, like love does, to lift me up higher, not to bring me down. So your humbug would bring me down, means you're not knowing how to regulate in your social engagement. You don't know how to listen to differentiate itself. So we don't have a me and a we. Differentiated selves, they create a we. So I'm present, you're present. So that means I'm curious, open, accepting, loving. So are you. I'm attuning to you. You're attuning to me. I'm the one who's sharing at this moment. You may have had the most shittiest day ever. Doesn't matter. You're not going to hide it, but it doesn't bring in humbug either. Okay? So you're regulating. You are not in a bad mood because you stubbed your toe and now you have no room for my share. So that's the balance is always there with people who are whole. So integration of brain, and that's why you do mindfulness, mindset, and mindset practices. They help you to do this versus I want different, and then go and say, you know what, I have 80% today, honey, so leave me alone, please. Go fuck off. Okay, yeah, that's not true love in my book. It's more like, wow, that's an attitude. Well, it was fun seeing you. Love affair need not be with any particular person. Thank you, said Guru. You could have a great love affair with life itself. And that is actively how it works for a solo, polyamory, securely attached woman who can tell you all about when I have my panic attacks. I can do a good job. Do I want people around me? Yes, the right people. Not the ones who will actively start to lecture me, tell me how to live life, tell me what I'm doing wrong. That's not what I want in that moment. You just basically added to what I'm already processing. Now I'm processing what I got to hear because I get to work on being in my Zen moment and I get to recalibrate this nervous system that is going in whatever it is for another 15, 20 minutes. And I doubled down. No, I didn't double down. I just got two things I get to calibrate as I am mindfully aware of my introception, is what it's called, to have the sixth sense. Okay, so when you are mindfully self-aware, accountable, and regulating, you're going to be aware. I'm regulating my nervous system right now. I don't need you to hug me. Like when this thing happened once, I was like, okay, I really don't want to hug, but I know that actively it could be supporting my nervous system. So, long story short, the 5D collective, we love our oversoul, twin flame, flames, soulmates. We know how to handle our oversoul because we know how to handle our own thoughts and emotions. And when we do know about true love, it's because it actually is a consistent, contingent, functional adult communicator who knows how to not bring humbug, because they know how to regulate, and then they know that life is short, 24 hours, we're all mortal. So they actively have meaning and purpose because they know I'm appreciative, I'm mindfully aware of my mortality, not only with the word, with my human secondary consciousness. I'm being gifted a day to spend with loved ones and doing things I love to do. So your job, whatever it is, that's why it's being ordinary, but it isn't ordinary. It's ordinary outside. That's where the attachment people, coaches, they say secure attachment is boring. They have no idea what blissfulness is yet. Once they do, they won't find it boring, because the awe and splendor, that's the one thing the divine feminine knows about our oversoul. It's the awe and splendor.